Well, guys, we're here today at SMB's offices, sitting here with Michael. I often get asked a lot of questions on mortgages and home loans, and it's not my field of expertise. So it's always better to hear it from the pros, and that's why you're here with Michael today. Michael, thank you so much for your time, and I've got quite a few questions to ask you. I know you've got all the answers, but let's fire away, but thanks again for having us.
Thanks, Kavos. It's lovely to have you here, and with pleasure. I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Well, Michael, let's fire away and start with the most basic question. Can a foreigner get a mortgage to buy a property in Mauritius?
Oh, absolutely. Foreigners can buy property in Mauritius. You can buy either a G+2, a resale, or properties valued over $750,000, but then you can only finance the portion only above $750,000.
For the viewers out there, a G+2 that Michael just spoke about is a ground plus 2, which basically means ground floor, first floor, penthouse, which is a block in Mauritius. But anyway, let's fire away with the second question. Michael, what is the maximum age to finance a property in Mauritius?
So the maximum age is age 65. So that means that the client must be 65 years old by the time the mortgage term ends. That being said, for clients who are a little bit older, we can make plans with pledge portfolios, and if they are resident in Mauritius, the banks are a little bit more lenient as well.
Question 3. What is the qualifying criteria for a home loan in Mauritius?
So the basic qualifications are you must be able to prove your KYC in terms of your ID, passport, residency, etc. The most important criteria that the bank are after is your financial eligibility. So do you have enough income or assets to actually cover the loan? So the bank will take a look at your worldwide global position. So we'll take a look at current assets, current liabilities, and just make sure that you can actually afford the loan.
Question 4. Michael, what interest rates can I expect for property financing in Mauritius?
So typically the interest rates will be between 4 and 7%. So the factors that affect that would be client's age, risk profile, currency that they're borrowing in, and the bank as well. And then also it's important to notice in Mauritius, you don't get fixed interest rates. They're all floating rates. So they'll go up and down as the banks around the world change repo rates. So usually between 4 and 7% is a safe bracket.
So basically, in short, Michael, no fixed rates. How long is a term normally for a mortgage in Mauritius?
Yes, exactly. So no fixed rates. But the term would be 10 to 20 years. The banks are quite flexible, but they are strict on the age 65. So they don't like going over that. So you must be 65 by the time of the end of the term of the mortgage.
So let me intervene there quickly. So that means I can get a mortgage for the next 45 years still.
Maybe even 50 for both.
Well, as a young man like myself, as a non-citizen, what documentation do you need for a mortgage in Mauritius?
It's quite an extensive list. It's quite a long list of KYC, know your client, as they call it in Mauritius. Typically, when we engage a client, we'll tell them a little bit about our business, and then we'll send them a list of KYC documents that they need to compile, or send to us at least. We compile the pack, and then we go to the banks on the client's behalf. So we walk through all the steps from valuator to EDB to actually get the disbursement from the bank as well. We guide the client on that process. So not to fear, it's a long list, but we do help you win the paperwork.
Michael, a question that often gets asked to me is, if I do qualify for a home loan, do I still get my residency?
Absolutely. This is what really makes Mauritius a standout for me amongst all the other global residency programs, is you can not only finance the property, but you can also have a tenant in said property, and you can have said property in a structure, be it a trust, foundation, or international company. So it's really amazing, and you still get your residency if you buy a property that's expensive enough and in the right scheme, of course. But yes, to answer your question, definitely.
Michael, talking about schemes, can you get a mortgage on a ground plus 2 scheme in Mauritius?
So actually Mauritius had a recent legislation change. So prior to 13 December of 2024, you could finance virtually any property from $0, which was great. The government has slightly amended the legislation now. So at the moment, only G+2s and resales qualify from $0. That being said, your certain schemes like an RES, PDS, or your resort schemes can be financed for the portion over $750,000.
When getting this mortgage approved, what fees are associated when your obviously your mortgage gets approved?
So definitely you need to take that into account. It's typically about 1.3% of the value of the mortgage you'll pay in fees. So that's broken down into a valuator's fee. You'll pay your mortgage originator, you have a bank registration fee, and there'll be some legal fees for the actual registration of the bond or mortgage.
Michael, you're going to have to answer this one for me. Because there's a question that really gets asked. We probably should have started with this right in the beginning, but how long does this whole process take to get a bond approved in Mauritius?
We're on an island, you're buying a slice of paradise. Relax a little bit. There are a lot of moving parts, to be fair. I mean, there is a government approval that needs to come through. There is a valuator that needs to approve the property, and the banks that needs to go through a few credit checks. The financial system is very secure. So typically, you should get in under 8 weeks. Sometimes it goes a bit over if one of the moving parts gets stuck. It can take maybe 5-6 weeks as well. Sometimes it really depends on the bank you're working with, the value of the property, the location of the development. There are a few moving parts. Under 8 weeks is a safe rule of thumb.
Well, I definitely know it definitely takes longer in Mauritius if you don't use you guys at SMB. But you know what? The proof is in the pudding. Let's see when the viewers start dealing with you, what feedback they give me. Viewers, this is the last question. So, Michael, can you settle the mortgage earlier?
No, absolutely. You can settle the mortgage early. Usually the banks in Mauritius aren't very punitive when it comes to early settlement, which is nice. They don't like it if you settle within the first 3 years, which makes sense. But after that, it's typically quite open to it. I always recommend the clients being honest with the bank upfront, saying if you are planning on selling a major asset and settling the loan after year 4 or 5, just make a mention of it in the application process. We have got very good relationships with our bankers, and it just makes it clearer for everyone going forward to know what to expect from the deal.
Well, guys, there you have it from the pros. There's a lot more questions and answers we could have gone through, but at the end of the show, we'll obviously list SMB's contact details, and please feel free to give them a shout at any given time. Unfortunately, the program's only this long and we can't get too technical, but follow the details and follow the pros. I'm Kabos from Investors, and you're looking for anything in Mauritius, I'll be your wingman. Please don't forget to like and share our YouTube channel. See you in the next episode.